Boom shakalaka, Bitcoin on the verge of another 70+% gains. Why this time might be just a little bit different. Stay tuned. What's up everyone, Randall here from Crypto Love. Today's video, a lot of very interesting charts for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin being on the verge of 70+% gains on average, and why this time might be a little bit different than expected. Before we get into it, guys, like the video, it helps out so much. Also join us on Twitter at @TheCryptoLove, where we share all of the charts shown today. Now, fear and greed today, 63, up from yesterday. Interesting, considering the overall market is down from yesterday by 2%. Bitcoin at 42,188, Ethereum at 2270, BNB at 298, Solana $95, XRP 49 cents, Cardano 49 cents. Also interesting, Avalanche $33, and Dogecoin 7 cents. And Bitcoin, we can see here getting rejected by the 50-day moving average, the yellow line, and also this long-term trend line right here got rejected by both of these over the past day. Now, Bitcoin is headed in one of two directions. The last time it broke below the 50-day moving average, it had this red line pattern, which would bring us down to 36,000. The last time it broke above the yellow line 50-day moving average, brought us up to roughly $76,000, this green line. But as you can see, based on the volume profile, and there are significant spikes behind these white lines, which I'll just move out of the way so you can see them, Bitcoin has been trading pretty much sideways since the beginning of December, with a little breakout to the top and bottom, but pretty much sideways. And there is the possibility we could just continue sideways all the way until the halving. You can see my halving prediction, which has been here since at least the beginning, or since the very bottom, 40,000 by halving, and this is the 40,000 by halving line. So we could be headed in that direction towards the halving. If we take a look at longs and shorts, you can see Bitcoin price right now is basically getting squished between longs and shorts. Now, should we have a drastic move, could cause a liquidation cascade, either a short squeeze or a long squeeze, could push the price a lot higher outside of this sideways trend. But until further notice, that's generally the trend that Bitcoin is going to go in. Right now, the January candle month has closed. It doesn't look that awesome. The candle itself, you can barely see it right there. Just a little pancake, shows quite some indecision. But the fact is, as long as Bitcoin remains above this yellow MA trend line, well, we're in the good all up territory. However, the long-term trend line here, which acted as support for Bitcoin for 3 months, has turned into resistance for Bitcoin right now. Should we not break above there in the long term, that might not be great. And if we take a look, open interest on the CME is dropping like a stone, roughly 30,000 or 40% of Bitcoin decline from the top. Investors continue to reduce exposure, maybe looking for cheaper alternatives. Now, that being said, Bitcoin is still in the lower band of this log channel. Wouldn't you have loved to buy any time when it was down there as opposed to the top? The derivative of the global liquidity is still very low down here on the bottom. Well, could be that they might start printing money sometime soon. This is how modern society works. We're based on debt. Liquidity will create an otherwise bankruptcy. Nations go bust. Pretty soon, the printer will go burr, and Bitcoin price will go up with that. Did you know, this is very interesting, every time the Bitcoin MVRV ratio fell below its 90-day average, which is a blue line right here, in the past, it signaled a very significant buy the dip opportunity for Bitcoin. Take a look, just fell below that 90-day average, suggests now might be an opportune moment to buy if you're not scared by the fear and FUD, and maybe you have a longer term perspective. Based on the MVRV Z-score, comparing it with previous cycles, we're still in early. Zoom out to chill out, looking at comparatively where we are. Still very early in the cycle, not yet overheated. But we have witnessed, and Bitcoin has witnessed, one of its most significant accumulation streaks in almost 3 years. Notably, the accumulation trend score has hovered near 1 for the past 4 months, signaling that larger entities are accumulating Bitcoin. The trend indicates strong confidence in the market, even if it isn't moving the price yet. And if we check out the 1-week RSI for Bitcoin down here on the bottom, approaching the 70 line, right now at 69, go Bitcoin, 0.64, and weekly closes above 70 produce the strongest moves in crypto. Over the last decade, The 1 week relative strength index score was above 70 a total of 13 times on average, going up 107%. The median value is 77%. So we could be due for roughly 70 to 100% gains for Bitcoin price should we just go a little bit higher in that RSI. And if we take a look where we could be headed this cycle, well, right now, this is saying minimum $100,000 based on this Bitcoin Cycle Master trend lines right here. Right now, for the halving, trading at fair value. But after the halving, generally price goes up to this red line, right now sitting over $100,000. And if you like concentric circles, well, you might just love this concentric circle long-term bull run prediction. This right here is suggesting possibly 300,000 for a cycle peak this time. And if you have an even longer view, like let's say you're not a day trader, you're more of an investor, and you're thinking, hey, 10 years, buy a Bitcoin now, $40,000, sit on it for 10 years. Well, based on this BitX model, in 10 years, Bitcoin is going to be worth $1 million per Bitcoin. So that's not a bad investment. I mean, what is that, 25x? Something like that in 10 years. I think that's pretty darn good. So anyways, that's all for today's episode. If you enjoyed it, push the like button. I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one. Love you. Peace.
If you don't think Bitcoin's going to $1 million a coin and then $10 million a coin, you're already a loser.
From now on, if you don't own Bitcoin, you're a moron.